Hey everybody, this is the Crypto Crow, and I have a bit of a completely unrelated topic that I want to discuss briefly as I prepare for this afternoon. I've got like 3 videos that I'm doing today. 2 are AMAs, and then I've got the new video that basically is going to represent how I'm changing the whole channel. So yesterday I was working, and a bunch of kids came to our house yesterday afternoon, and they were looking for my son, Xander. And the long and short of it is, we found out that one of his good friends, who lives right down the street, who just graduated the 8th grade, killed himself. Now, I've been bottling this all up since yesterday. We've been so go, go, go. I've been so busy, focused on so many things. And my son's really affected because, you know, when you see something, when grandparents pass on, it's semi-expected. When somebody who you play video games with, who you have sleepovers with, who is your age, 14, kills himself, it hits home. And I wanted to make it clear that I understand, and I had a talk with Xander, and I told him, I said, look, man, you know, I know that this hits home. It's different than, you know, when an old people kicks the bucket, right? And I understand what it feels like to those of you out there. You're young. You feel like you're at the mercy of your parents, your teachers. Your life isn't your own. It feels small. It's not small, people. It gets so much better. I consider everything before college boot camp. It all sucks. Everything sucks. Your life is controlled. You have rules to follow. You have expectations. You have demand on your time. What you do, where you go, who you're with. I get it. That's life, folks. For those of you out there that are young and you're struggling, it turns out the icing on the cake was his girlfriend breaking up with him. And I know that he had a bit of a troubled life. His parents weren't in the picture. He's raised by his aunt and uncle. And apparently when this girl broke up with him, she called his aunt and uncle and said, we just broke up. Keep an eye on him. He might do something crazy. And apparently they didn't. And I swear to God, to those of you out there, I've been there. I've had several bouts in my life growing up young where I thought about it would just be easier if I just went away. It would just be easier if I just quit, if I gave up. But I didn't. I didn't give up. And I'm so grateful that I didn't, because my life is fantastic. I'm busy and I'm tired, but I still enjoy every bit of it. I can do what I want, go where I want. I choose the life that I live right now, and that's the thing. When you get older, you make decisions for yourself. You choose the environment you're in. You get to choose what you do for a living. You get to choose all of these things. Your world opens up, and everything changes. I had situations where I had a Glock 9mm to my head. I did. I was crying and hysterical. And I was so tired of my life the way it was. And that's when I moved back in with my mother at 21 years old. And I was abstinent for 7 years. I didn't date. I didn't do anything. I didn't really go out. It was only supposed to be really a year break. But I knew that I needed to change my life. I needed to change who I was. I was a bouncer in bars since the day I was 18. And, you know, the world I was exposed to, it was just dark. It was seedy. You know, when you watch the social habits of regulars, who they leave with night after night after the night, and how they connect with each other, and how you basically attract all of the wrong people to your life. And they don't add anything to it. So I'm 40 years old, and there's still people I bounced with when I was 18 that are still in that business. They're still bouncing. They're still security or bartenders or whatever. They've never moved on. But I knew I needed to make a drastic change in my life. And luckily for me, at that point, I was old enough to make that decision. I had the freedom at that time. And it was not easy. But I promise you that it gets better. Kindergarten, grade school, it was all terrible. High school sucked. I hated high school. I hated being conformed. I hated being confined. I hated spending countless hours learning a bunch of bullshit that I just didn't feel was going to help me in life at all. To top it off, you've got all the politics and the cliques and the cool groups and the hippie groups and the this and the that and the burnouts and all. I was there. I know what it's like. It's bullshit. But when you're tired of the bullshit and you feel like you can't take it, push through it knowing it's going to be better. When you are empowered and you have the chance to make your own decisions in life, I swear to God it gets better. I'm still, I met this kid a couple times, and I'm just dumbfounded. When you see a good-looking, young, smart kid, and then you hear something so tragic, and there's no excuse for it. I told Xander, I said, look, man, I'm his stepdad. I'm not even his real dad, but I am. And I told him, I said, man, you ever have a thought like that, you come let me know so I can smack the shit out of you and tell you you're crazy. And he laughed. I don't even really know what I want to say to you. Those of you that are out there and you're struggling through life, and I don't care if you're a young preteen, teenager, or a grown-ass person. There's no excuse to end yourself. If it's so bad that you want such a drastic change, make a drastic change, but stay alive and stay in the game. Don't give up. You can't possibly be that weak. You can't possibly be that hopeless. It's a temporary moment in time, and you can dictate what happens tomorrow. A new day, a new plan. Change your friends, change your circumstances. Hell, I would tell a teenager to run away before I would tell him to kill himself or herself. Go backpacking through Europe, stay off of the hash, but have a good time. Just change your life. Don't end it. I have changed my life so many times in 40 years. Everybody knows that watches my channel. I get bored. And it's obviously that's different. But I've went through so many struggles with girls and relationships and all of that stuff. And now I'm married to the most beautiful, amazing woman on the planet who will do anything at all for me. I have beautiful kids. Step-children, real children, like whatever you want to call them. I've got a whole family of beautiful kids. There have been probably 3 instances in my growing up where I could have probably ended it because I was so distraught and so hysterical and so hopeless. And there was always this little voice in my head that said, no, it's up to you to change your circumstance. It's up to you to learn how to make your life better. You can't give up, Jay. You have to push through. These are the cards you've been dealt. But the cards you've been dealt, while they may be shit, can still be molded into something better, can still be used as a platform to grow from. And I hope you guys see this. I really want to make this clear. It's inexcusable for anybody to off themselves because life gets difficult for a month, a week, or even years. It is only temporary. I can't say that enough. It is only temporary. The pain that you feel today is temporary. You have to push through it. I just wanted to send that message that it's only temporary. I got to get to work. I promise you it gets better. It gets so much better. You just have to work through it. I'll see you soon.